Hey, and welcome back. Today I'm going to do another like forest one with a couple of decent trees, which I actually found out I'm really good at doing it. I also readjusted my camera. We'll see how it turns out. Usually I have it in landscape mode. Today I've got it straight up and down and have it positioned a little different on the table. I'm still working on trying to figure out that spot where I can have it where it looks really good. So please bear with me as I'm doing this. So with doing trees, we want the trunk color already down on the paper, and you've seen me a few times if you watch some of these other videos where I spray down a mixture of orange and yellow and then red on top of it. Those are our trunk colors for the trees standardly. I mean, occasionally I think I did one with brown, but you put those colors down, then you put black on top of it, but then I'm going to put a little bit more color in the background so it looks almost like a magic glade is my idea. That's what I see in my head. We'll see if I can actually get that out on paper. So to start with, of course, we make sure our paper doesn't run away because it's pretty windy right now. And if you can't tell, since there's no huge shadow on the paper, it's pretty overcast as well. I'm hoping to get some of these done before it starts to rain, because it does look like it's going to rain. So we'll put that down on the corner to try to hold it in place. Okay, get our two main colors down for the trunks on the trees. Yeah, get a little more yellow over there. All right. I mean, that right there looks actually pretty good, but when you mix in the red, awesome. Awesome sauce. Julie? Older people may recognize that. Anyway, so we let that dry for just a minute. I mean, we don't have to wait a whole long time for it, you know, just a minute or two to get it to dry some before we toss down some red on top of it. And those colors should all show through depending on how much pressure you put on your palette knife. You should get a little red, some of the orange and yellow showing through, maybe a little bit of white from the poster board itself, maybe a little bit of doggy. Yeah. Our newest acquisitions. We now have 3 more dogs because the wife's son and his girlfriend, fiance, whatever you want to call her, moved in because they got kicked out of their property. And this is the same one. And again, if you've seen any of my other videos, the little girl, Nene, her parents. We've had Nene for almost, 2 months, almost 3 months now, because they were living in a trailer out on a piece of land at his dad's. And absolutely, well, I'm not going to go into it. Let's just say they're here now. We've given them until mid-September-ish to get a place. And then after that, they're going to have to find a new place to stay. And we're keeping the camper because it's our camper. They borrowed it 4 months ago, so they had a place to live themselves. That's why we had the daughter. Anyhow, enough of that. Whatever the case, we've got her here now, and we've got them now temporarily, and they brought their 3 dogs with them. So if you hear dogs in the background, probably them. Although just a little bit ago we did have a neighbor jogging with his dog, and they did that, and his dog had to come over and check out the new neighbors. So he was over sniffing around at the cage, which is awesome. I mean, that was cool. The dog seemed pretty nice and was, except for that one, seemed fairly well behaved. All right, so let that dry just a little bit. Before I do that, we want to cover this in black. Gotta get this black shaken up pretty good. It's a brand new can. I just got it out because I ran out of the other one. All right, so Now we throw some, yeah, my tongue covered my eye teeth and I couldn't see what I was saying. All right, we throw down some black on that. I mean, we don't have to make sure it's completely covered like we do with space scenes, but we want enough black down there that when you carve out the trees, you have something to give it a good contrast. Now, in the background, here, just in the center some, we're going to give it some yellow. And that was, for those of you who want to know, it's called Golden Sunset. Rust-Oleum gloss. This one is Spring Green. That's a Rust-Oleum gloss as well. You see I use this quite a bit. It's gotten pretty covered with paint. Anyway, so we're going to throw some of that down over here. We're going to throw down, and I just want just a misting just to give it a hazy effect. So just a misting of white. Just kind of mute those colors and like give it a bit of a shine. All right, I think that doesn't look too bad. And that corner, give it a little yellow, give it a little orange, because I had the can on it, of course. So give it a little red, and then give it a little black. There, that way it matches the rest of it. Now, for the next step. I've got that down. I've got my background colors. I've got it covered up so I can bring it out when I scrape it. Palette knife, re-wet it. So, let me find my special sauce. Is that it? Where's my special sauce? That's not it. Is that it? Here we go. Alright, sorry. Hope you enjoyed the music while you waited. The special sauce, clear gloss. That's Krylon Fusion, all in one. I also have this that was on sale that the wife grabbed like 3 cans for me. Bye! My painting just ran away. Anyway, and it's clear wood finish, and I'm kind of afraid to try it because I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. I may do that today just to see what it does, but little leery on that. Alright. Had to go retrieve this, so here's that back. Now we will put something down to hold it again. We will listen to the train go by. Choo-choo. I wonder how many people paint the trains actually are on YouTube doing these kind of videos with spray paint. You ever wonder that? I did. I don't know about you guys. Anyway, all right, here we go. Back to this. Wet it down with some clear coat. Get your knife. And let's draw in a couple of trees. So I'm going to put in a couple of tall trees. We're going to start up here and kind of work our way down. I lost grip. Emergency, emergency. There we go. All right. Recovery. Now remember, if you have something happen, you can always go back and work it again. Excuse me. These paint fumes are starting to get to me a little bit, but you know, that's what happens when you do this without protection. So PSA for the day, make sure that you are using a breathing mask and gloves if you're going to do this on a regular basis, because these fumes are toxic and they can cause a lot of coughing and hacking. if you're not careful. So there's my PSA for the day. If you're not going to wear it, that's completely up to you. That is a risk that you run. But if you want to do it regularly, I would strongly recommend it. And anybody on here who does painting on a regular basis is going to tell you the same thing. Use some kind of rebreather, some decent gloves, and I don't know about the rebreather. I didn't really see one, but a lot of them do recommend 3M. I got one off Temu, which seems to work pretty good for me for $15, 14 and change. Gloves, I got some black ones off Temu for a pretty decent price. The only problem with those is they do have a tendency to rip. So alright, and sorry for the silence there for a minute. Of course, I was trying to concentrate, and when I start concentrating, sometimes my mouth shuts off. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is what it is. So, a little more secret sauce, so we can soften it up some more. Alright. Ah! Okay, that's going to be a funny looking branch. It'll go right, oh yeah, hey, that works. Goes right in front of the tree. That actually looks pretty decent. So as Bob Ross used to say, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. So there was my happy little accident. Now I haven't said this before, but it holds true. Austin Art, play on words, had pointed out, when you're doing like a tree, your branch should start out thicker and then thin out as it goes, because, you know, nature. And that's the way they usually look. Hey, the wife is back. Yay. I guess. Anyway. What's up, cowgirl?
Not a cowgirl.
What are you?
A person.
You're a moo cow?
No.
Girl? Alright. Well, welcome back. Hope you had fun.
No.
No, why not?
It's therapy.
Yeah, and?
Therapy's never fun.
Well, it depends on how you use it. I had a therapist once. Scared her so bad she jumped out the window. What are you doing? You mess this up and I'm going to slap you.
I know.
Alright, well, she took over, so I guess I'll just take a break for a second.
Here.
Alright, I guess she just had to touch something up. So.
Oh, okay. That's the closest one to the door on the inside.
Okay.
Put one more right in here. Dun, dun, dun. What's up? Alright, I don't know if this one still has. Yep, it's still a little soft. I may have to put a little more sauce on that one. So. While I'm thinking of it, before I forget, let's see if this works. Not on that one. That one's a little too wet yet. Wait, how about up here? Not exactly what it's supposed to do, but
I guess.
Okay.
I guess if you do it without the ink, looks much better. Anyway, you can draw in hearts and stuff if you use like a mechanical pencil tip or a pen tip. You can get it looking better, or get little hearts and stuff inside. And she just found out there's paint on the table.
Sparkles.
Sparkles! Well, at least you're wearing gloves this time, kinda.
They're gloves.
They're play gloves.
They're fingerless gloves.
Yeah, play gloves. We have a very special relationship, if you haven't been able to figure out over the last few videos. She yells at me, no bright colors, and I make fun of her for her fingerless gloves and getting sparkles all over her. Which is, I think that was the funniest thing I heard all day. So far. I mean, she may come back out and give us another visit, but
Loki.
yeah, and the one that's barking, for the most part, his name is Loki. He's the one that's making most of the noise right now. Alright, let's make this one just a little bit thicker as we come down. So, to make your branches a little thicker when you're drawing them, you want to turn your knife as you're drawing. So, as you're drawing, come down with the point and then turn it to make a little bit thicker line. Of course, the bottom of the tree is always going to be thicker than the top of the tree. And you can always go over it a second or a third time with your knife or whatever you happen to be using. I mean, I guess you could use a piece of cardboard too if you wanted, with the corner of it. Alright. Switch hands, see what happens. My dominant hand is right, so we'll see what happens when I switch over to my left. It lasts for about 10 seconds and then goes back. That's what happens. Alright, now I'm going to actually bring off another one like this off to the side, and then draw a couple of branches off of that. And these have actually been a pretty good seller at the fairs lately. The wife sold another one this weekend at just a one-day event. So, and I've sold, let me count, give me a second. I believe that makes 7 paintings so far that have been sold. So, pretty good, not too bad, I think. Alright, this is a pretty long video, so I may stop it right here and actually post a second part so I can get some of my other stuff around on this, because I still got color mixing for the leaves and, a couple other things. So I'm going to stop this now before it gets too much longer. See you in part 2.